from the very beginning, we have had as a part of Morning Offering the one, the only Peter Range, and the segment Say Yes to Life. Happy anniversary, Pete, and thanks for being with us throughout the entirety of this first year. Good morning to you, brother.
Hey, Peter.
Well, David, Ron, guys, Pat, I feel privileged to really be a part of the show. And this morning, because I traveled to Washington, D.C., I had my phone on airplane mode. So I know you guys were trying to call me. And I'm like, I'm ready. Why haven't they called yet? But I'm excited to be back on the show. So thank you so much. Hey, I want to direct our listeners right now because this is such an important time in our nation's history, 250 years that our country has been alive and moving, and so I want to reflect upon that in just a minute. But we are in a battle for really the soul of our nation right now. And much like in our nation's history, there has been tremendous battles for the dignity and value of human life. You think at our very founding, where we struggled to give blacks their full rights in slavery. And so we won that battle, and it took a bloody civil war to eventually make sure that African Americans were given full rights in our country. Well, today we have a whole segment of people, the preborn, that have no rights, and these are human people that do not have rights. And we're claiming that it's health care, yet we're not even having women see doctors anymore. So I'm not even sure how this is health care anymore to give women these abortion pills without seeing a doctor, without seeing a nurse or anything of that nature, just ordering pills over the internet where they end up killing their babies. And many of them, unfortunately, even here in the state of Ohio, are finding themselves in ER rooms, a 34% increase this past year of ER visits for these women. So we launched a campaign just yesterday. So I want to invite our listeners, whether you're in Ohio, Michigan, whatever state in the union it is that you're listening in, to go today to go abortioncrimebymail.com. That's abortioncrimebymail.com. There really is a mail order abortion crime scene that's taking place across the country. The abortion industry, again, it's sending abortion pills into communities across the nation. Babies are being killed and women are being harmed. So we want to tell the Trump administration to undo what President Joe Biden did in 2021, which was remove any restrictions on accessing the abortion pill. So previously, you had to actually go in and see a doctor, make sure you did not have an ectopic pregnancy or any other kind of health thing that could impact whether or not you should be taking the abortion pill, how far along you were in your pregnancy as well, because the abortion pill should not be taken, post 10, 11 weeks. When it's most commonly taken. And look, there is decisive public support on this issue. 67% of likely voters support the in-person requirements. 63% of those who consider themselves Democrats support medical safeguards, and 72% of Republicans support common sense rules. So there is broad support for making sure that basic health and safety standards are in place when it comes to the abortion pill. And unfortunately, we just had a missed opportunity to protect women during these first couple years of the Trump administration. So reaching out first and foremost to our Congress, we're sending them messages to our senators and to our congressmen, wherever you're at in the country. So there's a little voter voice down towards the bottom of the page at abortioncrimebymail.com. If you scroll down and you just type in, where you live and everything, it'll send a message directly to these folks to tell them that we want those kind of basic standards kind of put in place. And it's important that we do this, right, because there's been so many studies already that show the chemical abortion pill, again, it's already killing children and it's harming women. But there's also the reality that we have so many cases across the country of these men purchasing the abortion pill and then forcing their girlfriends, their wives to take the pill against their will. Having this so easily accessible just makes it dangerous for so many people across the country. So one last time, please go to abortioncrimebymail.com today, and you'll see that every 100 seconds, a child is lost due to the mail-ordered abortion pill. And since Joe Biden reversed the policies making it easier to access these pills, there's been over 871,000 babies that have lost their lives because of the abortion pill just through the mail. So there's many more that have been lost because of women going to see the doctor and everything. But one last time, abortioncrimebymail.com. All right, so that's one thing I wanted to update you guys on. Secondly, I was in Washington, D.C., as I mentioned, to start the show yesterday. I was meeting with folks from around the country. There's a lot of these ballot initiatives. Of course, we face them in Michigan and Ohio, but there's a lot more. There's one in Virginia. There's one in Idaho, Nevada. There's going to be a pro-life amendment in Missouri. And so we were talking about the best strategies to get it over the finish line, these pro-life amendments that are being offered in some states, and then how to defeat some of the pro-abortion amendments that are taking place. Tremendous, amazing people working across the country in the pro-life movement, so really a privileged space to be there and work with those folks. But I was also very excited because the meetings ended early, and so that's always exciting when the meetings end early. And so I went to Mount Vernon, which is, of course, the home of President George Washington, our first president. And, my kids, God bless them, they're wonderful, wonderful children, but it's so hard in this world of where you have everything at your fingertips to make sure that they're just thankful for everything that they have, right? And our home that we're living in today, it has rooms bigger than George Washington's. Yeah. It's very nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, but we are so blessed, the prosperity that this country has had as a nation. So reflecting just on where we've come as a country, but Washington, truly an incredible man. I didn't realize he actually owned 8,000 acres, but it was touching to be at his gravesite, because at his gravesite, he quotes the Gospel of John, where Jesus says, "I am the resurrection and the life." This was a man who believed in Christ, who was a follower of Jesus Christ. And thank God we had somebody like that as our president. And please God, for the years to come, may we have more men and women that believe in Jesus Christ and have Christ as their cornerstone.
Well, and thank God we have Pete Range. We have you out there fighting and getting the word out. And, of course, I can't help but think, Mr. Range goes to Washington.
There you go.
Have a great day, Pete. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks, Pete.
From your lips to God's ears. Take care.